But have you considered that maybe if the US government continues to kowtow to the CCP, then eventually the CCP will decide to do the right thing and give the US everything it wants?
Of course not. I think in the case of Hong Kong, we have seen very clearly that the Chinese government is good at, making deals that they would never fulfill. So the
Oh,
Hong
you mean
Kong's
like
one
50
country.
years, no change?
Exactly. The one country, two systems is basically a lie. It sounded, all so well in the very beginning. It sounded like the glorious future that we're going to see in Hong Kong and in China. But in the end, of course, they did whatever they could to stop that from happening. And that is going to be the same for any countries who try to deal with China. China is just gonna, walk back on the deals they have made, and they wouldn't think for a second even that, oh, I'm betraying a deal. No, they don't work that way. They just see what they need, and they just get what they want, with whatever tricks they have in their bags.
Yeah, it seems like the Chinese Communist Party is like, rather than the U.S. using like these things to pressure the Chinese Communist Party, the Communist Party is saying, look, if you want to talk with us, don't talk about anything, don't do anything that'll make us mad. And it seems like that is kind of what the Biden administration is doing.
Yeah, it's been pretty frustrating. So actually, one of my goals is to make sure that, between this dance between the DC circle and the Beijing circle, I do want to make sure that the US does know they have the power to actually direct and dominate this, ongoing back and forth between the two countries. It doesn't have to be set and led by Beijing. It can be led by DC.
Well, and as you mentioned, Congress also has a lot of power too. Do you see any more movement there within Congress? Do you think you could get Congress to take action that the executive branch of the U.S. government doesn't want to take?
Actually, just yesterday, there was a movement of a bill on the Hong Kong Economic and Trade offices operating here in the United States. So what the bill is about is that right now in the U.S., there are three offices from the Hong Kong government, one in San Francisco, one in New York, and one in Washington, D.C. So these offices, in the name of for trading and economic benefits, actually do a lot of propaganda work and also try to build a lot of network for the Hong Kong government, and de facto that's Beijing, right? So this bill actually asks both the president and the Congress to review the sort of privileges and standing of these offices. And if the president or Congress decides that HAETO should not have the privilege it has now, it actually has to terminate its operation in 30 days. So this bill actually just made it through the Senate Foreign Relations Committee yesterday, and it's going to head to the full Senate for a vote. And if it passes, of course, it will be a good news to a lot of Hong Kongers, because these offices have been very instrumental in helping the Hong Kong government to conduct transnational repression. They have been helping to counter-lobby actually a lot of the bills that we have been pushing forward. And so I would say actually in Congress, we had better result this year than in the administration. And that's still something, we're still trying to push through. But the CECC, the Congressional Executive Committee in China, has been doing a lot of good work, as well as the Select Committee on China led by Chairman Gallagher. So these are new allies that we have. And obviously, I think we're very grateful for their work, and it has been going smoothly thus far.
Mm-hmm. Well, it seems like really, for me, it's having covered China for 10 or 11 years now. I think it was the sort of back-to-back, what happened in Hong Kong, COVID, and then the spy balloon for some reason, is really changed how a lot of Americans felt about China, and, made the situation in Hong Kong come to light for them. Have you noticed the impact of that?
Yeah, I actually have, because I first came to the United States in 2016 as, a student studying in college. And at the time when I introduced myself to a lot of my American classmates, and of course I said, oh, I'm from Hong Kong. Some of them would be like, oh, it's Hong Kong, a city in Japan or Singapore or something like that. But now I'm sure that impression has changed a lot. People know where Hong Kong is, and people understand Hong Kong as this example. of the Chinese Communist Party's authoritarian expansion, and how, China has been a bad actor really in a lot of the human rights issues. So I do see that trend happening, even though, slowly, but still we have been making progress and we have been trying hard. And it's something I do see, something with an ongoing impact for, many years down the road.